Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah. So I haven't really been documenting much work on the boat. I just, do little updates or whatever. I haven't really been making any good videos. So I decided just now, since I forgot my tripod at home, that I will kind of do a little bit more on how I'm making my budget bow fishing light rail. I will explain a little bit about that now. So what you didn't see yesterday, I taught some high school kids a little bit about the physics and the geometry and the sciences of bending conduit. So basically I'm just making this whole thing out of conduit. It's 3/4 inch conduit. It's probably not quite as heavy duty as I need, but it is budget. So it's gonna get mounted up here, not mounted, but there's little mounting plates, so it's easily removable. And those could be just screwed to a boat if you want. You don't have to use this fancy aluminum extrusion. So basically that'll go on both sides, somewhere up here on the trolling motor. My math and whatever isn't quite perfect. Probably should have stuck this out just a little bit farther. It's really hard to tell if I'm not on the water, if I need to stick it out any farther, which I think I might. I've in the past with bow fishing boat builds, one bow fishing boat build, I had a problem with mounting this flush to the deck, a raised deck, and then if I hit something, the shaft would hit this like a fulcrum and it would just snap the indestructible shafts in half. So that's why it is important to stick that out a little farther if you're doing a raised deck, or in this case, just a raised mount to get up over this rail. So these are the lights. I think I probably have already showed you these lights in a video, but these are just Amazon 30-watt LEDs. 50 watts probably as small as I would want to go, but these cost 1/3 of the price, so I can put more of them on and get the same watts for less money. But these are, I think, 3000K. I'd rather have like 2400K, so they're a little bit more yellow, but for the price I think these are going to be a-okay. So I might try to do a time lapse now. We will see. Like I said, I don't have my tripod, but I can get pretty creative. I got all kinds of stuff that I can mount the camera on. So yeah, I'm gonna get welding. Okie dokie. So I've got these things, brackets tacked on. I need new screws for the lights since I upped the thickness quite a bit from the factory mounts. So the lights aren't quite like, I don't know, square with the boat. They're square with the rail. The boat and the rail aren't really square to each other because like the boat rail you can see is like 4 inches high here, 5 inches or so high here. I think it's like maybe 3.5 back there. So it's not quite perfect, but once I get everything welded up and everything, I don't know, all the lights on, I think it's gonna be a-okay for what I need. My needs are not what they used to be. I used to be a hardcore bow fisherman, I would say, like hardcore. But yeah, so that's what that side looks like. I haven't done this side. I am not going to do a time lapse on that side or anything until I've got it made, probably. It takes a lot of time, not a lot of time, but it's just kind of not the easiest to be filming. So I want to save time. I want to get this all welded up and painted today so then I can start wiring it next week. So I'm also gonna paint this right here so I can mount my light bars. I might have already told you that. So yeah, I will get to work. Hello, so it's been a while since I've showed you anything on this. So looks a lot different than what it did. It's still, the boat's kind of a mess, but I painted the rail, mounted the lights. One of the automotive students here at the school, got auto leveling set. Soldered these, heat shrink. But he put these on. He did most of that side. So yeah, they did a real good job. Normally I just use butt connectors and crimp them because I'm not an electrician. So got those hooked up. Up here I'm going to wire this fancy switch right here. It's not mounted. It's actually dimmer switch for an old truck. This is actually a Ford part. I could have bought the Chevy, but the Ford's better. The only difference is those connectors are a little closer together on a Chevy. So that's gonna go right there. I believe I know how to wire it. I think if I push the button, these two are live. If I push it again, they're dead. So I'm just gonna hit that with an ohm meter just so I do it right. I guess it don't matter. I'm just gonna use spade connectors. If I do it wrong, I just have to switch posts. So pretty much that's it. Once I get that wired, I've got to run 2 wires from back there up under here. There's a hole in here, whoops, all the way over, and then underneath the trolling motor there's, sorry, boat was moving. So inside here, that's where my wires all popped out. That's why try to find that thing that's masked off. That's the plug for the trolling motor. if I wasn't going to be putting 12 volts in here, I already have 2 wires ran to put a cell phone charger plug in here, but I'm going to be utilizing those. So I was smart. I knew I'd be running more wires, so that yellow wire is actually my fish wire. I just got some sticking out both ends, so no matter which way I want to run wires, I just tape wires to it, pull it through, just make sure I don't pull it all the way so I can pull it back the other way if I need to. So I'm going to utilize that, and it shouldn't be that hard to get my 2 wires for the switch. So yeah, you've probably already seen all that. I might go in a little more detail once I get everything wired up. So yeah, so far that is the goal for this. The only thing I got to do for this light rail is get the switch wired. It's got a fuse right here, and I've been using the fuse to as a switch, turn it on and off, because I like to see them light up. But uh-oh, that's focused. See how that side's all chewed up? That's because I keep melting it every time I plug it in. It arcs out. So I just need to get a switch on there, and then I will flip them on for you. So anyway, I'll be back. All right, foot switch is installed there in the dark. See how she works. Oh yeah, buddy. Oh yeah. All right, so I think this is going to conclude the video on the budget bow fishing light rail build. I will wrap it up real quick. These are 12 or 24 volt 30 watt LED lights, warm white color. That's 3000K. 3/4 inch conduit. I used a conduit bender. I did some welding. You don't have to have this fancy rail like I do. That was part of my other builds that I'm doing. You do not have to have these fancy connectors. You do not have to solder everything, but you can. You wouldn't necessarily have to buy the high dollar marine wire, but I did. So you don't have to have 2 batteries. You don't have to have 2 power converters, but I do. You could have 1 battery. It would run this many lights for not that long. That's why I've got 2 batteries, and then I got power converters that would plug into the generator that belongs there. A lot of those wires under there are not for the lights. So light rail, these lights, I did some slightly wrong figuring, but all I have to do is drill a new hole there. Nobody will ever know that I screwed that up. I screwed it up the same on both sides, so that's cool. Dimmer switch, it's those 2 plugs. This was $15 at Napa. It is part number DS114. That is a Ford dimmer switch. If you want the Chevy, it's DS115. I chose the Ford because it matches my truck, and it was cheaper than the Chevy for some reason. Pretty much, I think that's about it. This boat's obviously a mess, but I could go bow fishing anytime if it wasn't 30 degrees out. So, long story short, these lights, Amazon, $30 a piece. I had $30 in conduit. I did weld. If you don't know how to weld, I don't know what you could do. Oh, you don't have to. I took all the brackets off. It comes with factory brackets, but I welded these. You could actually just screw the brackets right to the conduit. The only part that actually kind of needs welded is right here, you know. But I don't know, I'm sure you got a buddy that can weld good enough to stick that together. Or I don't know if there's conduit clamps you could use or something. But anyway, budget DIY bow fishing light rail. Very budget. If I would have used like aluminum tube, if I would have used like 50 or 100 watt LEDs, we would have at least triple the cost, quadruple the cost. These lights are $1 per watt, 50 watt lights, $2.10 per watt. I think the 100s are about the same. So long story short, this is budget. I'll get a video sometime bow fishing once it warms up a little bit. So anyway, it's been real. Hope you learned something maybe, and maybe just enjoyed seeing the show. If you want to go bow fishing, let me know. Maybe I'll take you. See you later.